What are you waiting for? No! No! No!
Everyone knows Julius Caesar, but have you ever thought about how much wealth he had? You might be shocked to find out about the trillions he passed down to his sons. When you hear the name Julius Caesar, you might think of a salad dressing, a man in a toga with a laurel crown, or the famous Roman leader who was brutally murdered over 2,000 years ago. But who was this iconic figure and how rich was he? Let us tell you all that you need to know. This is going to be a fascinating ride. Julius Caesar was a big deal, not just in his time, but even today. He wasn't just a powerful general and politician, he was one of those rare people who left a mark on history that still gets people talking. First off, did you know that Julius Caesar's name isn't really Julius? It's Gaius. So Gaius, or Julius as we know him, was a talented writer and speaker, and his ability to communicate won him the respect and support of the Roman people. His career was packaged with achievements. He worked as a lawyer, held the prestigious position of Pontifex Maximus, or chief priest, and led the Roman army to victories in places like Britain and Gaul, which is modern-day France. Let's take a peek into his early years. Honestly, there isn't a ton of info, but what we do know is pretty interesting. Born in July 100 BC in Rome, Gaius Julius Caesar didn't have a super dramatic childhood, but he wasn't exactly struggling either. His dad was a senator and his aunt married into a prominent family. These connections gave young Caesar a leg up in Roman politics. Early on, Caesar aligned himself with the Populares, a political party that believed in giving more power to the common people. This move wasn't exactly popular with the ruling government, the Ottomans, who were more into keeping things the way they were. Because of this, Caesar found himself out of favor and decided to make a name for himself on the battlefield instead. It worked. He became a decorated soldier, and his military success, along with his political connections, set him up for a big role in the Roman government. As Caesar's popularity grew, so did his lifestyle. By 65 BC, he was throwing the famous gladiatorial games that Rome was known for. His rich friends and sharp speaking skills helped him climb the political ladder quickly. By 49 BC, he was leading an army across the Rubicon River and after rebellion against the Ottomans party. He was going head-to-head with his main political rival, General Pompey. Even though Caesar's army was outnumbered, he won a huge victory at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC. This win established his reputation as one of Rome's greatest military leaders. After his victory, Caesar took control of Rome and started making changes. He declared himself dictator for life, a title that didn't sit well with everyone. On March 15, 44 BC, a group of former allies and rivals stabbed him to death in a public assassination. However, Caesar's life is full of contradictions. On one hand, he was a leader who made significant changes to Rome. He expanded the empire, lowered taxes, and brought stability to the government. He also introduced reforms that helped retired soldiers and the lower class. But on the other hand, he undermined democracy and started a civil war. Some even argue that Caesar was a master of fake news, shaping history to make himself look better. Did you know that Caesar and Cleopatra had a romantic history? Yes, Julius Caesar had a famous fling with Cleopatra, the beautiful queen of Egypt. They met when Caesar followed Pompey to Egypt, and their relationship was a win-win in terms of wealth and military power. Cleopatra even had a son with Caesar named Caesarion. They later fled to Rome for safety. Even though Caesar was married to Calpurnia, he never denied being Caesarion's dad. After Caesar was assassinated, Cleopatra and Caesarion went back to Egypt, where Caesar's great-nephew Octavian eventually ordered Caesarion's death. So, was Julius Caesar a hero or a villain? That's up for debate. What's clear, however, is that his life and actions had a huge impact on the world. The Roman Empire influenced everything from art and architecture to literature and law, and Caesar was a big part of that. Caesar's influence didn't stop with his death, though. His name and deeds have been referenced in everything from Shakespeare's plays to modern pop culture. The phrase crossing the Rubicon, which means making an irreversible decision, comes from his life. Even the month of July is named after him. Caesar played a big role in creating the Julian calendar, which was the last calendar used before the one we use today. With the help of astronomer Sisigines, Caesar introduced a system with 365 days and a leap year every 4 years to account for the extra 0.24 days it takes for the Earth to orbit the Sun. Though the Julian calendar was off by just 11 minutes and 14 seconds each year, it lasted over 1,500 years before being replaced by the Gregorian calendar we use today. In 2017, a New York theater company staged a version of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar that depicted Caesar as then-President Donald Trump. This caused a lot of controversy, showing that even thousands of years later, Caesar's life still sparks strong reactions. Now here comes the million-dollar question, quite literally. How rich was Julius Caesar? Julius Caesar was incredibly wealthy, but pinning down exactly how rich he was is tricky. But here are some fascinating facts about it. When he died in 44 BC, he left a significant sum of money to every male Roman citizen, 300 sestertii each, which adds up to about 330 million sestertii in total. His wealth didn't stop there. He also left a huge inheritance to his successor Octavian, who got 75% of what was left, making him extremely rich too. So how does this translate to modern money? Estimating the value of ancient wealth in today's dollars is nearly impossible, but if we take a wild guess, Caesar's wealth might have been comparable to that of modern billionaires like Bill Gates, with a rough estimate of around $100 billion. To understand how wealthy the Caesar clan was, let's see what his successors inherited. Augustus Caesar, the first Roman emperor and the adopted son of Julius Caesar, was one of the wealthiest people in history. He controlled vast territories, including Egypt, which was one of the most powerful and prosperous regions of the ancient world. Augustus's estimated net worth was a staggering $4.6 trillion, making him richer than any modern billionaire, even when combining the fortunes of Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Jeff Bezos. Egypt played a significant role in Augustus's immense wealth. During his reign, Egypt was a crucial part of the Roman Empire, contributing at least 25% of the global economy at that time. Much of the wealth from these periods was tied to land, empires, and resources rather than money as we know it today. For example, other historical figures like King Solomon, who reportedly received around $40 billion in gold annually, are also considered extremely wealthy, but these estimates are based on ancient records that are often exaggerated or unclear. So yes, Julius Caesar was a complex figure whose life and legacy continue to be studied and debated. His story is a fascinating mix of ambition, power, betrayal, and legacy, and it's one that still resonates even today. Caesar was adored by the Roman people back then, partly because he made efforts to reduce debt, unemployment, and improve their lives. He proposed laws to redistribute land, limit personal wealth, and offer jobs to the poor in Rome's colonies. He also launched public works projects like a new harbor, canal, Senate House, and the Forum Julium, some of which still stand today. Even after his death, Caesar kept giving. He left his villa, gardens, and art gallery to the public, and he divided his wealth among the citizens of Rome. What do you think about the wealth of Julius Caesar? Would his wealth surpass the billionaires of today? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content.